This page is the cover of Saturn Fan Magazine, featuring a striking anime illustration of a woman with long green hair. The main headline promotes a major feature on the adventure game Desire, created by the staff behind the EVE series. Inside this June 27, 1997 issue, readers can find coverage on significant games like Real Sound, Langrisser, and Super Robot Wars F, including a special offer for a trial music CD for the latter. The magazine also previews a lineup of other notable titles such as Slayers Royal, Grandia, Dukusei 2, Princess Crown, Last Bronx, Biohazard, and Thunder Force vs. Additionally, Atlus unveils new games in two popular series, Ronde and Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. This issue retailed for 560 yen. This page features the Sega Saturn game Three Dirty Dwarves, highlighting its distinctly American comic book style and comical action. The layout mimics a comic spread, incorporating game screenshots into illustrated panels with dialogue. It emphasizes the game's unpredictable fun, describing the gameplay as being just like reading an American comic. The game is presented as an action game for 1 to 3 players, developed by Appaloosa Interactive, and sold for 5,800 yen. This page introduces the unique Sega Saturn title, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret. This is a groundbreaking game from Warp that is played entirely through sound, with absolutely no visuals on the screen. It's presented as a nostalgic love story focusing on rediscovered memories and first love. The player assumes the role of the protagonist, Hiroshi, and guides the story through interactions with the two heroines, Nana and Izumi, influencing the plot's progression. The game promises a pure and poignant love story woven solely through high-quality sound. It features notable staff, including Kenji Ino for planning and direction, Yuji Sakamoto for the script, and popular voice actors for the main characters. The game was released on July 18th and sold for 6,400 yen. The next page is a Sega Saturn advertisement for Ochige Designer, a puzzle construction tool where players can create their own falling block puzzle games. It features character designs by Aki Takami and voice acting by Miyumura Yuko. The advert includes screenshots and a contest for designers, and also gives a price and release date. This page introduces the Sega Saturn version of Desire, a science fiction adventure game. Originally released for PC, this version features redrawn graphics by EVE character designer Tadashi Tajima and a star-studded voice cast, including Kyoko Hikami and Tomoko Kawakami, along with veterans like Masako Ikeda. The game's story explores themes of love through a research facility, offering a different appeal compared to EVE. It also notes changes made from the PC version and highlights the new animation compression method, and includes information about release date, price, and other information. The next page focuses on Desire, an adventure game where the player experiences the story from two viewpoints, those of Albert, a journalist, and Makoto, a technician. The page includes character profiles and screenshots to illustrate the game's storyline involving incidents at a research facility and the mysteries surrounding the characters. The game features multiple endings depending on the choices you make. This page delves into the adventure game Desire, highlighting its immersive qualities through facial expressions and lip-syncing technology. It explains how the game uses a face window to display character emotions and lip-syncing with the help of an automatic vowel discrimination system, AVSS. The page features profiles of several key characters, including Tina, Kazumi M. Granchester, Raiko Kusanagi, Martina T. Staradpitch, and others involved in the story's core events at the Desire Research Facility. It describes various characters and their roles, such as doctors, researchers, and supporting personnel. This page focuses on the game Desire, presenting it as a love story set on an isolated island. It features several scenes and characters like Cheryl, showcasing various emotional moments and relationships within the game. The article also mentions the development team's enthusiasm and improvements to the graphics. Other highlighted parts of the game include scenarios involving alcohol, friendship, and personal time, suggesting a complex narrative. Coming soon is shown at the bottom of the page, indicating a release date or further info. This page is all about the Shin Megami Tensei series, spotlighting 2 upcoming titles for the Saturn, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, and Ronde. It discusses the history of the series and highlights key figures from Atlus and Sega who support the new games. Screenshots from various games are featured, including Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, and Shin Megami Tensei If. The page emphasizes the series' dark themes and innovative gameplay. There's also a small section about Devil Summoner, Akuma Zensho 2. This page covers 2 new titles in the Shin Megami Tensei series for the Saturn. Soul Hackers is discussed as a 2 CD set with enhanced graphics and a new install system. The story revolves around a hacker group accessing a virtual city. The article also mentions the return of the Demon Fusion system and 300 demons in the game. Ronde focuses on themes of brotherhood and reincarnation, with 360-degree view maps. The combat system is also highlighted, where characters transform into demons during attacks. There are details about character design and a brief overview of the game's story, which involves exploring ancient ruins. This page features interviews and information about 2 Saturn games, Soul Hackers and Ronde. The Soul Hackers interview includes developers Koji Okada and Kazuma Kaneko, who discuss the game's themes of network society and virtual reality, mentioning it's like Stand By Me with hackers. There are also comments on the shift away from the Shin Megami Tensei title. The Ronde interview has producer Yuichi Iwata talking about the game's focus on themes of reincarnation and brotherhood, noting the lack of traditional law/chaos alignment and more freedom in storytelling. It highlights demon transformations, a 360-degree view, and unique world design. The page includes screenshots from both games, along with portraits of the developers. This page is an ad for the Sega Saturn game, Samurai Spirits, Bushido Retsuden, a samurai RPG. It shows screenshots of the game, with a focus on its blend of traditional samurai themes and RPG elements. The advertisement features an image of a samurai warrior and mentions the game's release date and price. There's also information about a limited edition original phone card. The next page is an overview of Super Robot Wars F, highlighting the game's evolving battle scenes and upcoming features. It mentions the release date of August 29th and emphasizes new systems and graphical improvements. There are screenshots of the game showcasing robots in battle, including EVA Unit 02 and dialogue snippets. Also included are character profiles for Amuro Ray, with comparisons of his previous and current designs. The page also details the inclusion of new mobile report, Gundam W units, and the pilots. The next page covers Super Robot Wars F, showcasing various robots and characters. It features Z Gundam, with the pilot Camille, and EVA Unit 02 with Asuka. The review mentions graphical improvements and new systems, and the game features other robots such as Gashogun, LGAIM, Combattler V, and Dankuga. Also mentioned is Gundam F91 and Gundam 0080, with a reference to the Pocket Wars. The next page features an interview with Koji Terada and Masahiko Okado, discussing Super Robot Wars F. They talk about the scenario's goal of 100 original episodes. The interview covers the difficulty of incorporating new characters like those from Gundam Wing and the challenges of including Evangelion, while avoiding a second impact that would alter the game's storyline. They discuss balancing the power levels of different mechs and how the game branches into multiple endings, with 34 final bosses depending on the player's choices. The page also includes a memorial file on Dunbine, The Wings of Racian, highlighting themes of war, desire, and the struggle for purification. Key mechs such as the Dunbine are showcased. This page features an interview with Kenji Ino and Yuji Sakamoto, the director and writer of Real Sound, Kaze no Regret. The interview discusses the game's story and its multiple endings, with a focus on the regret ending. Sakamoto talks about joining the project. The page also includes details about the game's development. The next page continues with Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, sharing consumer test reactions and highlighting positive feedback on the game's unique drama-like experience. It mentions a radio broadcast featuring Kenji Ino, Yuji Sakamoto, and musician Keiichi Suzuki. Additionally, it promotes a giveaway of a special music CD to 1,000 readers, detailing the CD's content, which includes the theme song, in-game scenes, and a message from Ino. The closing date for applications for the music CD is June 26th. This page is a detailed look at Langrisser IV, diving into its systems, combat, and branching scenarios. It introduces key characters such as Landius, Licky, and Rachel, and sets the stage with the Kingdom of Keikansis and the Legenberg Federation Kingdom. The article emphasizes the impact of player choices on the story and character development, including the heroine system affecting relationships. It also covers battle preparation, troop deployment, item shops, and how to earn money, giving players a guide to approach the game strategically. The next page provides an overview of the battle mechanics in Langrisser IV, highlighting its strategic depth. It details the class change system, initial character classes, and a magic and skills system. The page also covers unit types and the three-way deadlock combat system, illustrating the advantages and disadvantages of different unit types. It introduces Scenario 610, emphasizing the complex human drama and strategic battles, and key characters such as Landius, Ricky, Rachel, McLean, Shelfanil, and Angelina, who become allies throughout the story. The page showcases a scenario where the protagonists head towards the La Rioja ruins seeking the legendary mirror, and their current mission to get through a fortress. The next page provides strategies and introductions to Scenarios 7 through 10 of Langrisser IV. Scenario 7, The Ancient Capital, involves Landius and his team dealing with treasure-hunting thieves in a dungeon, while also facing the threat of Baruku and his troops who appear later. The strategy emphasizes splitting forces to handle the scattered thieves while securing the treasure. Scenario 8, Aldan for the Sake of Honor, focuses on a battle in the Oshu-Oru Mountains, where Aldan aims to redeem himself with the help of Kuruga and his men by undertaking a dangerous mission. The strategy involves splitting troops to attack the mountain, dealing with enemy cavalry, and withstanding powerful magic. Scenario 9, Keikansis Castle Defense Battle, centers on defending Keikansis Castle against an assault led by Emiri, emphasizing the need to distribute troops across 5 directions to counter the enemy's varied units and magic. Scenario 10, Bandit Valley Stormy Night Raid, involves Landius launching a night raid on Emiri's forces, who are holed up in a fort in the Tani Valley, using the terrain to their advantage. The page also briefly touches on Ranfodo's tactics, Weira's counter-strategies, and the subsequent rebellion led by Arekusu. This page is an advertisement for the Saturn version of Biohazard, also known as Resident Evil. It highlights exclusive original elements for the Saturn version, including new costumes, a battle game mode after clearing the main game, a new enemy, and the addition of more save data blocks. The page features screenshots of gameplay, character artwork, and discusses the plot of the included original novel. The page highlights the graphics, gameplay, and story in terms of the Bio experience. The next page is about the arcade fighting game Marvel Superheroes, coming to the Saturn. It highlights the gameplay mechanics like aerial raves, super jumps, and the gem system. Screenshots showcase characters like Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Juggernaut, and Wolverine executing special moves. The release date, developer, price, and genre are provided, alongside info about the game's 2D fighting, arcade-style gameplay. The page states that the game has special moves and attacks with lots of characters. It mentions characters enhance their abilities with gems to change a battle. The next page is dedicated to the quiz game Niji Iro Machi no Kiseki, Rainbow-Colored Town Miracle. It features screenshots of the gameplay, which involves answering quizzes to befriend 7 girls who hold the power to save the world. The page provides a glimpse into the characters, including Kuzumiko, Megumi, and Saki, each with unique personalities and roles. The game involves a board game-style progression, where you stop on spaces to trigger events and play quizzes to unlock new things for the girls. The text mentions the game is easy and has funny characters. This page focuses on Last Bronx and its development for the Saturn console. It highlights 4 key enhancements made in the Step 1 phase, which include improved hit effect graphics, a new stage called Cross Street with Sonic the Hedgehog billboards, camera work during special moves, and the addition of hidden weapon transformations for characters. The page also shows screenshots, various character transformations, and discusses the implementation of a survival mode, with calm opponents. Characters mentioned include Red Eye, Lisa, Tommy, and Yoko. This page showcases Fighter's History Dynamite for the Neo Geo, focusing on the game's features such as weak point system and remixed music. It includes an interview with Rutubo Games discussing their approach to faithfully porting the game, using extended RAM to minimize loading times. Screenshots are shown, and characters like Ryoko, and Guketsu are featured. Rutubo Games also lists their previous works, including Space Harrier, Afterburner, Outrun, Fantasy Zone, and Space Harrier 2. The next page is a preview of Fighter's History Dynamite, introducing 13 of the game's grapplers. Each character is showcased with artwork, in-game screenshots, and brief descriptions of their backgrounds and fighting styles. Characters featured include Ray McDougal, Liu Feilin, Makoto Mizoguchi, Jean-Pierre, Kalnov, Clown, Zazie Muhaba, Samchai Tomyamkun, Lee Diendo, Marstorius, Matlok Jade, Kanu Ryoko, and Ryu Yongmi. The next page offers a dynamic preview of Sakatsuku 2, a soccer management simulation game. The preview highlights the ability to manage a Japanese national team and compete in an international cup. It details how player development in your club affects national team selection, and that players can even become the national team manager. The page showcases various game screens, including team selection, match play, and stadium views. Also featured is an interview with the developer, discussing the goals and systems related to managing the Japanese national team. This page previews Sakatsuku 2, focusing on the strategic pre-match setup. It emphasizes the importance of tactical decisions based on player conditions, team dynamics, and opponent analysis. Also, the team has an overall power displayed. The article highlights the game's enhanced ability to assess player stats and team performance, enabling more refined, strategic adjustments. It also touches on the new feature of fatigue and condition affecting player performance, requiring careful team management. In addition, there's a section about a Sega and Bandai partnership ending. The rest of the page covers news from a Sega Saturn festival, including early access to Mr. Owns. Also featured are prizes like a pen tray, clock, and day pack available to attendees, plus a list of future events like a Sonic Jam, Full Cowl Mini 4WD Super Factory, and Last Bronx appearance. There are also images of the Saturn Queen contest and a communication battle using X-Band. The next page is all about the Saturn RPG Grandia, revealing the voice cast with interviews. The main characters, including Justin, Fina, Sue, and Mullen, have all had their voice actors finalized. The page includes comments from the voice actors about their roles and anticipation for the game. The page has a table, including game release date, developer, and other details. The voice cast includes Takehisa Takemoto as Justin, Noriko Hidaka as Fina, Kumiko Nishihara as Sue, and Jirota Kosugi as Mullen. Other voice actors mentioned include Takefu Wakabayashi as Pearl, Kikuko Inoue as Riete, Rokuro Naya as Gadoin, Kappei Yamaguchi as Rap, Chinatsu Sakamoto as Milda, and Yoshiko Kamei as Guido. Also shown are some in-game battle scenes. A short article previews Grandia Prelude, which includes exclusive content and the voices of Justin, Fina, and Sue. The article also mentions a character introduction and high-quality videos in the game. The next page is about the Saturn game Terra Cresta 3D, showcasing the polygon-based update to the classic shooting game. It highlights the transformation of the game with 3D graphics, enhanced BGM, and boss battles. The page details new attack systems, including Firebird attacks, and introduces formation attacks like Moonbeam and Search Laser. The page mentions stages 1 and 2, showcasing the boss fights and level design. A table of game data is shown, detailing the release date, developer, price, genre, age rating, CD count, player count, compatibility, and more. Screenshots from both stages and boss encounters give a good idea of the look and feel of the game. This page focuses on Legend of Galactic Heroes Plus. It highlights enhancements from the original game, detailing improvements like more intense combat scenes, voice acting, and changes to the supply rules and information displays. The page emphasizes the strategic elements of choosing factions, commanding fleets, and conquering star systems, while also mentioning the importance of personnel management. It showcases new animation during battles and additional attack graphics, including missiles and fighters. The updated supply system and information screens are explained, along with the process of fleet creation. The page features a list of voice actors, including Hikaru Midorikawa, Yuji Mitsuya, and Miki Nagasawa. It also touches on the history of Legend of Galactic Heroes, mentioning the space opera novels by Yoshiki Tanaka and the various adaptations. The release date, developer, price, genre, and rating are also noted. This page is an article on the Sega Saturn game Virus. It details the game's adventure part system, highlighting the use of buttons and icons for a smooth interface. The game features a cursor controlled with the directional pad, which changes shape based on the selected icon. Commands are assigned to buttons for quick selection. The game's world and storyline are previewed, with the story taking place across Earth and Mars, showing environments and settings. The story focuses on a team called Stand, Squad Team for Alert to Network Destruction, and the parasitic virus wreaking havoc. Key characters include Leon and his lover Helen. The page also announces the completion of Favorite Blue's opening theme music video. The next page features the simulation game, Kyukyu Gensukyoku. Focusing on the development of the game, it explains the game's story involving the player and companions managing an all-purpose shop, a mix of simulation and adventure elements. The character development aspect is highlighted, explaining how to assign tasks and manage their skills and relationships. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay interface, showing management screens and character interactions. A section introduces 10 potential companions with their character art and brief descriptions, like Sheila, Melody, Eloise, and Christy. Finally, the development team answers questions about the game's themes, characters, and scenarios. This page promotes Side Pocket 3, a 3D polygon billiard game for the Sega Saturn. The page showcases the game's features, including a training mode and versus mode, and boasts realistic gameplay, a tutorial with real-life pool player Kyoko Son, covering form and technique for players of all skill levels, with tips for how to hold the cue correctly, and instruction on performing the mass shot. Screenshots from the game show different perspectives and gameplay scenarios. The release date is listed as July 18th, with a price of 5,800 yen. The next page is an advertisement for Kakusei, an adult visual novel game published by Elf for the Sega Saturn. The ad features screenshots from the game, and a large image of a female character in a school uniform. It announces the game is now on sale as a Chrondrom set with a price of 7,800 yen. It also includes a website URL for Elf. The ad has a warning for mature content, advising it's for ages 18 and up. This page is an ad for the Sega Saturn game, Macross Do You Remember Love? It features a large illustration of Lin Minmay in her iconic performance outfit, promoting the game's release. The ad includes screenshots and Japanese text, emphasizing the game's blend of CG and anime, and the added new content not seen in the original movie. It is labeled as a horizontal scrolling shooting game for one player, requiring a memory backup and containing 2 Chrydroms, priced at 6,800 yen. The next page showcases 2 Sega Saturn fighting games. On the left is DX Hired, highlighting its unique DD system that utilizes the entire 3D space for battles. It emphasizes fast-paced combat and stunning visuals. The bottom features character artwork and the game's price. On the right is V-Force, accompanied by artwork of anime-style characters. The page advertises a soundtrack album, CD drama, and novel release, teasing the question of whether the girls in the game will become guardians of the planet. It also notes a special edition with a promotional video and jigsaw puzzle. The next page is a promotional spread for Princess Crown and Dark Seed 2, alongside Groove on Fight. Princess Crown, an action RPG, is an Atlas/Sega collaboration. Groove on Fight is a fighting game with a contest mentioned for a strongest fighter set. The right side features Dark Seed 2, based on the artwork of H.R. Geiger. There are screenshots displayed and information about the game's release on both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. This page is a promotional spread. On the left is Shin Ryu, a vertical scrolling shooter for Sega Saturn, boasting 2-player simultaneous play. A campaign is mentioned with prizes such as the arcade game board and soundtrack CD. The right side features Twinkle Star Sprites, another Sega Saturn title. An illustration contest is announced for the game, with prizes including figures, celluloid paintings, and telecards. The next page presents 2 Sega Saturn games, Night Ruth, Explanation of the Paranormal, and Terra Cresta 3D. Night Ruth showcases its anime-style visuals and paranormal themes, focusing on a group of high school students. On the other side is Terra Cresta 3D, highlighting its release date as August 8, 1997, and its fiery phoenix design. This page features 2 games, 04 Champ Doozy J for the Sega Saturn and Eberouge for PlayStation. 04 Champ Doozy shows a blue sports car alongside details of its release and branding with a focus on racing. Eberouge, with anime-style artwork and characters, is also displayed. The page lists character voice actors and their roles, including voice actors like Yuri Shiratori, Ikue Otani, and others. It mentions the price and availability of the Eberouge Creedrom, plus a radio program. The next page promotes the Stakes Winner 2 double campaign for both PlayStation and Sega Saturn versions, offering a total prize of 1 million yen. 2 competitions are highlighted: a prize-winning quiz with a total prize of 450,000 yen, and a treasure chest commemoration time attack with a total prize of 550,000 yen. The deadline for entries is July 31st, 1997. Additionally, the page features a Saturn Kingdom section with various news and campaigns, including a Cool Pad summer campaign where purchasing a Sega Saturn console with certain new games gets you a special edition controller. There's also a Mr. Bones Super Gift campaign offering MTV-supported prizes. This page is a reader submission form for Saturn Fan number 12. Readers can submit their favorite things, along with game rankings, personal information like their school year, age, and gender, and a list of games including Impact Racing, Evil Rouge, Game Heaven, J-League Go Go Goal, Skullfang, Skyfang, Three Dirty Dwarves, Macross, Do You Remember Love, DX Hired, Japan Pro Mahjong League Certified Dojo Breaker, and Fishing Koshin 2. The next page features several announcements and advertisements for various games and products. First up are Digital Monster virtual pets from Bandai that allow for battling and connection between devices. Then there's the Ryukun and Pokemon virtual pets from Japanflex, focusing on raising dinosaurs and puppies, respectively. An event called Enemy Zero Exhibition, The World of Kenji Ino, is announced. Additionally, there's a Daisuke cosplay dance party and a CD release event for Yange Sakura's new single. The page also includes information on Evangelion Real Model Series figures. It advertises a sentimental graffiti cosplay Codrum and offers single releases from Mariko Kuda and Mitsuyoshi Takenobu. A News Dynamite section highlights a Sakura Wars video release, a Last Bronx soundtrack CD, and a DX Hired Takara CD. There's also a Dynamite present contest giving away prizes, including Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus, a Mariko Kuda CD Teleka, and Waku Waku 7 demo version. This page is the Ranking Street section, providing insights into game popularity and sales data. It covers 3 rankings: Front Popularity Ranking, Saturn Sales Ranking, and Transplant Hope Ranking. The Front Popularity Ranking highlights games anticipated for release, with Super Robot Wars F leading. The reviewer notes the emergence of titles like Kuro no Danshu and expresses challenges in conveying the appeal of real sound due to its lack of visual information. The Saturn sales ranking shows Downstream at number 1, noting a general lack of significant releases in the Saturn market. Eberouge and DX Hired made appearances but had underwhelming sales, highlighting the strength of certain genres on the Saturn. The Transplant Hope ranking sees Vampire Savior taking the top spot, surpassing Final Fantasy Version 2. The reviewer expresses hope for a console port of Downstream and mentions Marie's Atelier as a notable new entry. A small section called Shop Owner's Honest Opinion features a comment from a store manager on the popularity of PC versions of games and the connection between Saturn and PC user preferences. There is also a list of Saturn games, their manufacturers, release dates, and prices, along with estimated sales figures. These include titles like Glaytest Night 97, Mobile Suit Z Gundam, King the Spirits 2, Fighters Megamix, and Derby Analyst, with estimated sales numbers. The next page continues the Ranking Street feature with a focus on game performance, reader rankings, and critical reviews. It spotlights Downstream as a leading title, noting its pressure on other games in the rankings. The page includes reader opinions, summing up general impressions, along with a table showing the game name, manufacturer, release date, price, overall score, and historical ranking. The games listed include Downstream, Free Talk Studio, Mobile Suit Gundam, Stake Swimmer 2, and many more. Reader reviews are presented for Downstream, praising the character development, emotional depth, and overall quality. Other reviews echo this sentiment, highlighting the engaging gameplay and well-crafted narrative. Critics discuss the game's characters, sound design, and level of immersion. There is also a section called Complaints, where readers express mixed opinions about the game's features. A final section called From the Maker features a message from the ELF Public Relations KT staff expressing gratitude for reader feedback and excitement about players enjoying the game. The next page continues the Ranking Street feature, presenting readers' opinions on various games. Free Talk Studio, Mobile Suit Gundam, and Stake Swimmer 2 are highlighted, with players discussing their experiences. One reader mentioned buying Free Talk Studio because of the voice actors. There are also comments on Sky Target and Downstream, touching on graphics, gameplay, and story elements. Readers are divided, praising certain aspects but noting flaws in others, such as repetitive dialogue or confusing controls. The game developers respond to feedback, acknowledging concerns and expressing their dedication to improvement. The next page of Ranking Street continues the review section. We see the games Command & Conquer in 6th position, G.I. Solved in 7th, Magical Hoppers at number 8, Seabus Fishing 2 at number 9, Fantasy Step in 10th, Elf Wokaru Monotachi in 11th, and Funky Head Boxers Plus in 12th. Readers share their thoughts on the games, with opinions ranging from praising the graphics and gameplay to criticizing the controls and story. Developers respond to the feedback, thanking players for their input and promising to address concerns in future releases. This page presents the Ranking Street section, where players review various games. Mobile Suit Z Gundam, Zeta's Pulse, takes 13th place with mixed opinions. Deca 4 WD is at number 14, praised for its simple truck racing fun. In 15th place is Civilization, The New World 7 Wonders, a simulation game with a focus on cultural development. A Crow ranks 16th, with cool action but criticized controls. Black Dawn is 17th, a 3D shooter with impressive visuals but challenging gameplay. Finally, Casper is 18th, noted for its charming characters and puzzles, although some find it repetitive. Readers share their comments, and developers respond to the feedback. A contest for game reviews is announced, offering prizes for participants. The page also lists several games for review. This page presents a reader survey where participants can win software. It includes a questionnaire covering topics such as education, age, gender, preferred magazines, owned game systems, and desired game types. Readers can rate articles and suggest improvements. There's a list of software titles to win, including Super Robot Wars F, Real Sound, Wind Regret, Biohazard, Marvel Superheroes, Quiz Notorious Dreams, and others. The page provides instructions for filling out the survey postcard. The next page provides tables, summarizing articles, magazine content, and compatible hardware. Article titles include Desire, Devil Summoner, Rondo, and more. Magazine content includes Saturn V, Sega Magazine, Tech PlayStation, etc. Hardware includes Mega Drive, Game Gear, and Nintendo 64. The next page lists Sega Saturn software titles, including RJ Mix, Assault Lugs, Azel, Panzer Dragoon, RPG, Amok, and many more, with a wide variety of gaming genres represented. The next page features more Sega Saturn games, including Dungeon Master, Herculex, Tilk, and others. There is also a list of Sega Saturn software from June 6, 1997, including Fighting Illusion-esque 1 Grand Prix, Virtual On, Cyberdoll. This page features a strategy guide for Sonic Jam on the Sega Saturn. It focuses on the final boss stages of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. The page highlights new features in the game's mode and mentions the inclusion of the Sonic world. There are screenshots showing gameplay and menu selection. The software includes titles like Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. The next page continues the Sonic Jam Strategy Guide, focusing on Sonic the Hedgehog stage by stage. It details point attacks for various zones, including Green Hill Zone, Marble Zone, Spring Yard Zone, Labyrinth Zone, Starlight Zone, and Scrap Brain Zone. The guide offers tips on boss strategies and general level navigation. It also gives a brief rundown on the basic gameplay mechanics of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, like how to collect rings and access special stages. There is also a feature on using Tails as a sidekick in Sonic 2, explaining his abilities and how he can assist Sonic. This page continues the Sonic Jam coverage with a zone-by-zone strategy guide for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It offers point-attack strategies for zones like Emerald Hill, Chemical Plant, Aquatic Ruin, Casino Night, and Hilltop Zone. The guide provides tips on boss battles and level navigation. There's also an interview with the Sonic team developers, Naka Yuji and Izuka Takashi, who discuss the creation of Sonic Jam and their goals for the project. They mention adding an easy mode to make the game accessible to a wider audience. This page features a strategy guide for the game Waku Waku 7, focusing on practical techniques and character command lists. The guide is aimed at both beginners and experienced players. It covers essential tactics and special moves for all 9 characters, including strategies for dealing with CPU opponents and human players. The page highlights unique aspects of each character, offering specific battle tactics and usage tips. It also provides details on universal commands and techniques available to all characters, such as super mode activation and throws. Particular emphasis is placed on using super mode effectively and understanding the risk involved in performing dashes. The next page delves into the combat mechanics and special moves of several Waku Waku 7 characters. It features Slash, highlighting his teleportation skills and attack strategies, and Polytankaras, detailing his cannon mode and various attack ranges. Tessus, with her long-range tactics, and Bonus-kun, who struggles with a lack of defensive options, are also featured. Finally, it includes information on Fernandez, focusing on his powerful Kuru Narakoi technique. Each character section includes in-game screenshots, command lists, and gameplay tips for effective strategies. This page is a strategy guide for the game Kakusei, or Underclassmen, focusing on how to romance specific characters. The guide highlights 3 potential love interests, Misuzu, Ai, and Shizuka, noting the difficulty in pursuing each. The main advice is to focus on Misuzu early on and to succeed in double dates to advance the relationships. It provides specific conversation choices and actions to trigger events and increase the compatibility with each girl, including dialogue options to choose during the game. The page also touches on the challenges of dating AI due to her fear of men and offers tips for timing intimate scenes. The guide uses in-game screenshots to illustrate key moments and choices. This page provides a guide for the Underclassmen game, detailing event locations and romance strategies for the character Misuzu. It outlines specific events, like the Namba amusement park dates in both summer and winter, along with timing. It also covers events that take place at school, such as the dorm and the school gate, providing insight into the evolving relationships between the characters and the challenges of balancing friendships. The next page is a guide for the character Shizuka in the Underclassmen game. It highlights how her role as a teacher influences romantic developments, detailing events like hospital visits to see Shinji, and strategies for deepening the relationship through dates. The guide covers locations such as the school rooftop, the municipal garden pool, and a museum. It also includes scenes where Shizuka is seen in a towel after a shower and playing the piano, suggesting ways to enhance affection. This page features Digital Ainge SS, a game with a soundtrack CD featuring the voice actress Kikuko Inoue. The game has a mech and action element with angels and demons, a story that branches, and art by Shiko Adachi. The page also includes a Conehead Club section, where readers share their opinions on video games. There's talk of Christmas nights and frustration over high prices on older games. News includes a Sega Bandai merger and user comments about a Saturn ad campaign. This page contains a variety of fan-submitted illustrations, from character art to parodies. In the Illustration Gallery section, games like Dukusei 2, Tactics Ogre, and Last Bronx are represented. Sega Am Freak shows fan art for Sega games, with Guardian Heroes getting special attention. There are also small sections for Kids Hope and Corn Kids Network Board, where readers give feedback on games and gaming topics, focusing on issues like software pricing and release strategies. The Cornhead Club announces the results of a reader-voted contest, congratulating the winners. Finally, there is a Conehead Club illustration section featuring reader submissions. In this third edition, R. Jaja was chosen as the best artist. The next page, titled Cornhead Club, starts with a We Are Supporters section, showcasing fan-submitted content related to various games and characters. The first part is the EVA Supplementation Committee, which features submissions inspired by Neon Genesis Evangelion, with artwork and fan-made Purakura stickers. Readers share their thoughts on the designs, particularly those of Rei Ayanami. Imperial Capital Troop discusses the planned stage adaptation of Sakura Wars. A fan expresses disappointment that the performances are limited to Tokyo. Lunar Magic Guild seeks help from players of Lunar 2 to find specific in-game items, like the Phoenix Mail and Flame Shield. Tokimeki Love Association focuses on Tokimeki Memorial, highlighting the character Miharu Tatebayashi. The Dragon Force Friends Association discusses the upcoming Spectral Force game for PlayStation, hoping that Sega will create a sequel. Some art is shown for Dragon Force. SATA Fan Mail Q&A answers readers' questions, addressing topics such as the magazine's move, the effectiveness of chewing gum and staff favorites, and a new character called Liliel. Transplant Hope's Voice Special discusses the possibility of porting Vampire Savior to the Sega Saturn, featuring comments from Capcom's PR representative on the game's potential. There are also fan shoutouts for Rayearth and Liliel, who are described as new additions to the world of gaming. Finally, the page closes with Submission Time Obscene, inviting readers to submit their original works and fan content to the magazine. This page focuses on dating simulation in the game Martian Successor Nadesico. It offers tips and strategies for achieving happy endings with different female characters. The page is divided into sections, each dedicated to a specific character, such as Yurika Misumaru, Megumi Reynard, Ruri Hoshino, and others, giving one-point advice for each character, and also giving insight into their personalities, preferences, and the challenges players might face when trying to win them over. It also considers character compatibility, like Ruri and Yurika. The page finishes with characters that are harder to develop relationships with. The next page gives a detailed overview of the game Magical Drop 2i, branding it with the phrase, "Data so complete, you will be invincible." It highlights the importance of speed, accuracy, and judgment to improve gameplay. The guide introduces a Tamura theory strategy, breaking down character statistics, attack patterns, and methods for achieving high scores in the game. It delves into the specifics of attack power, attack types, and bonus characteristics for various characters, and it includes a chart that shows the attack power of different characters, such as Fool, Magician, and others. The page also details how to calculate attack levels and adjust them based on in-game conditions, and includes diagrams explaining optimal tactics. Finally, it stresses the importance of selecting a character that suits your playstyle. The next page focuses on strategies and tips for Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Do You Remember Love? Offering guidance for players struggling with the later stages of the game. It breaks down fundamental techniques and specific characteristics of the different Valkyrie forms, Fighter, Gerwalk, and Batroid, highlighting their strengths and weaknesses in combat. The page details how to manage the search attack gauge and the Macross's durability, along with strategies for preventing enemy escapes to protect the ship. Key tactics for dealing with various enemy attack patterns, including those encountered in specific phases like Phase 8, Ocean, and Phase 9, Ruins, are given, together with how to use items and manage supplies. The page also describes special events and the effectiveness of weapons, such as the long-range missile and reaction cannon. It contains tips for phases like Phase 10 and how to destroy enemy ships and dodge attacks. This page provides strategy and tips for Pacific Storm 2, a strategy game where the player commands the Japanese Imperial Navy. The page details how to succeed in the game's short scenarios, including advice on maximizing the efficiency of air power, naval combat, and ground warfare. It gives tips on keeping losses low, prioritizing production speed, and selecting key targets for naval and aerial attacks. The importance of resource management, troop deployment, and scientific research is highlighted, while emphasizing the value of prioritizing smaller ships. It also outlines the conditions for winning the game and provides guidance for new players on how to adjust the game's settings for easier play. Several short scenarios are listed, and tactics for specific scenarios, like focusing on air superiority in the Midway scenario, are detailed. Finally, tips for naval combat, ground battles, and a list of ship information are provided. This page delves into multiple historical and hypothetical war scenarios in strategy games. Absolute Defense Zone, a scenario based on the Battle of the Mariana Islands, emphasizes quickly establishing defenses on key islands and strategically deploying mobile forces. Imperial Capital Air Defense War focuses on defending Okinawa and Rangoon, stressing the importance of holding key territories to secure victory. It also mentions Japan's strategic miscalculations during the real Battle of Okinawa. The Northern Invasion Operations scenario explores a hypothetical Soviet-Japanese war, advising players to consider attacking non-Soviet allied nations to gain an advantage. Lastly, Stratosphere 1946 discusses a hypothetical operation to recapture Iwo Jima, where players must withstand heavy bombing to create an opportunity for victory, and also mentions other game mechanics. The next page introduces a fictional rival magazine to Saturn Fan, teasing its debut with the headline, "This Summer, Emergency Speed Report. Saturn Fan's biggest rival magazine appears?" It highlights 4 key features of this supposed new publication: strength in gouge or dating sim games, a focus on visuals, impressive included bonus content, and an immediately recognizable appeal. A blurb to the side promises full details on the next page, hinting at a significant challenge to Saturn Fan. This page is an advert for Deluxe Saturn Fan Volume 1, a special edition focusing on visual-centric dating sim games. It promises a detailed look at the heroines featured in Saturn games, along with bonus content. The ad also teases a quiz within the game, Dukyusei 2, where solving the quiz rewards the player with original graphics by Masaki Takai. The game, Dukyusei If, is also mentioned in this context. The release date is listed as July 4th, with NEC Interchannel as both seller and developer. Thus, other details are listed, such as the adventure game genre, 18+ age rating, 2 crids, single-player mode, and 7,900 yen price tag. The next page focuses on Dukyusei 2 and its bonus content. The page details extra modes unlocked after completing the game, including a navigation mode with the character Yui, a music room to listen to themes from the game, and Girls Room, which lets players view event graphics at a higher resolution. Another section introduces Sotsugyusei, Graduates, a special side story featuring the character Saburo. The page also touches upon the story of Saburo from Dukyusei 2, focusing on his pursuit of the character Miyuki Sakakibara. Finally, the page highlights the upcoming release of Dukyusei 2 for the Saturn, scheduled for July 11th. The next page covers Sengoku Kuryu Senki Chaos Seed, exploring the game's unique world and story mechanics. It introduces the concept of parallel worlds and how player choices impact the narrative, resulting in over 10 different story branches. The page shows how decisions made with the guard, and also in the inner room, affect the story. The article features character profiles, including Rin Rain Ran, a treasure hunter, and Wan Sujen, a mysterious young leader, and also the character Ryu Raikan, who is a innkeeper in this world. It also showcases in-game screenshots and discusses the varying roles of characters in different parallel worlds, and the goal to achieve 100% completion to unlock all scenarios. This page is a continuation of the Sengoku Kuryu Senki Chaos Seed coverage. It's presented as a manga strip, with humorous depictions of characters and situations from the game. The storyline revolves around fixing a broken bonsai tree, and dealing with characters like Ryu Raikan, and a mischievous spirit named Daozen. The page explains the concept of Sengoku Kuryu Senki Chaos Seed. It introduces the character profiles of Rin Ringran, Wan Saojen, and Ryu Raikan, and it explains how player choices impact the narrative. This page focuses on Samurai Spirit's Bushido Retsuden, a role-playing game. It outlines the game's premise, which involves traveling across the world to destroy Jadu Tak, devices that are powering the evil god Mizuki. It details the starting point of the adventure in Izumo, where the protagonist discovers the town in flames and must rescue a priest named Washo. The page also introduces the concept of Makai Road, a dimension that allows travel to different locations for destroying the Jadutak. It also touches on the chapter Yuka Dukoku no Shao, where the goal is to defeat the evil god Mizuki. The page shows screenshots of the game, including key characters and explorable areas. The next page delves into Samurai Spirit's Bushido Retsuden, focusing on the chapter of Jatensurin no Shao, detailing the quest to stop Amakusa Shiro Tokisada's plot to overturn Japan, where players choose a protagonist from 6 characters to pursue Amakusa. It describes starting in Edo to meet Yagyu Jubei, find companions, defeat demons, and follow Jubei, with screenshots illustrating key scenes and locations, along with a section detailing the dangers the player will face, such as rogue sorcerers and other dark forces. It features the corrupted town of Edo, consumed by a strange cult, and a journey involving following Yagyujube along the Tokaido Road, encountering strange religions, and entering the Aokigahara forest. The page further discusses infiltrating underground labyrinths to confront sorcerers, and the impending doom on Edo Castle. The page also introduces a bonus mode for the Saturn version, with the Blackie Talk Show, featuring Blackie answering questions, and the bottom showing the measurements of an anime woman's 3 sizes. This page is a preview of Slayers Royal, with details on the game's battle system, including spellcasting and the return of Naga. The game features a battle system, where characters act according to preset commands, but players can interrupt to change tactics. The page showcases the Dragon Slave spell and various events that can occur in towns like inns, taverns, and restaurants, which affect character stats. It also highlights a reunion scene with Naga and a visual of her casting spells, and mentions other characters such as Lena and Guri. The next page dives into Princess Crown, which is a game in development by Sega/Atlas. It spotlights the second main character, Edward Gloucester. The page details his journey, driven by the desire to kill Gorgoda. The battle system and enemy variety are highlighted with action shots, including Edward's attacks and monster encounters. The page also showcases magical attacks, using items, spells, and special effects, like summoning fire and ice. It features in-game screenshots of characters, monsters, and attack animations. This page is all about Tactical Fighter, a training simulation game where you raise a young girl to become a top martial artist. The page includes screenshots of the game, showcasing both training and fighting scenes. There's also an interview with Yuka Imai, the voice actress for the main character, Hitomami. She discusses her experiences recording the voice for Hitomami, highlighting the challenges of performing special moves, and expressing the character's growth. The page delves into Hitomi's daily life and training, with a touch of humor. The content contains character interactions and story events. There are various events available in the game with Hitomi, such as going to the beach, hot springs, and festivals. The next page delves into Thunder Force V, focusing on stages 2 and 3. It highlights character changes and stage modifications, showcasing new enemies and enhanced boss encounters. Stage 3, known as Human Road, is a challenging urban environment ruled by old weapons, featuring encounters with bosses like Gargoyle and Mad Donut. The last boss of Stage 3 is Armament Armed Arm, which transforms between a 6-legged walking form, a tank form, and a flying form, with each transformation having more and more devastating attacks. The game also brings back the stage select system from previous Thunder Force games. This page is a preview of the game, Buken Katsugeki Monomono, an action RPG. The article introduces the game's item collection and encyclopedia system. Screenshots show various aspects of the game, including Yuki's birthday, exploration of caves, encounters with guardians, and inventions of the game's doctor. The game involves collecting over 200 items that can be recorded in the Mono Mono Encyclopedia. The next page is a preview of The Literary Fragment, a mystery adventure game set in a mansion. The game features 2 protagonists, Detective Satoru Ryozaki and his partner Kusanagi, with the story unfolding from their perspectives. The plot revolves around solving a series of bizarre murders within the mansion. The article highlights the game's investigation mechanics, character interactions, and the complex web of relationships between the residents. It also provides screenshots of crime scenes and key characters, teasing the gruesome nature of the murders and the dark secrets hidden within the mansion. This page features 2 games. On the left, there's a preview of Lupin III Chronicles, a database game celebrating the history of the Lupin III franchise. It includes character design comparisons across different series, original opening and ending animations, and a soundtrack. Key characters such as Lupin III, Daisuke Jigen, and Goemon Ishikawa are highlighted, with commentary on their evolving designs. On the right is Impact Racing, a shooting race game where players destroy opponents while racing. The preview details the game's shooting mechanics, various camera angles, weapon types like lasers and missiles, and the goal of completing courses while battling enemies. Players can choose from 5 different cars, each with unique stats, and collect power-ups by defeating opponents. The page emphasizes the game's fast-paced action and strategic weapon use. The next page is an advertisement for Harukaze Sentai vs. Force, a strategy simulation game where 4 beautiful girls defend the Earth. This game features a story about the Earth Federation forces battling the Bastille Empire in space. It boasts over 60 minutes of animation and allows players to control the Earth Federation's forces, including the 3 Ao sisters and Yuki Oda. The battles are set on land, sea, and air, and the game includes a special edition with a puzzle and video. The pilots are the Aoi sisters, Natsuki, Miki, and Kazuki, along with Yuki Oda. This page features 2 simulation games. The first, Daisuki, is set in a futuristic military academy, where the player aims to become an elite pilot and find a partner among various female characters, including students and teachers. Screenshots depict dating scenarios, character interactions, and minigames. The second game, Seikai Rishiden, is a political simulation where the player aims to become prime minister. The game involves navigating political events and making choices. Players can choose different career paths and engage in political maneuvering. The gameplay involves a board game-like map, where players advance and encounter events. The page also references actual political events and figures, including politician Ichiro Ozawa. The next page features 2 different games. Teitoku no Ketsudan 2i, a WW2 simulation game, casts the player as a naval commander, either American or Japanese, tasked with achieving victory in the Pacific Theater. The game includes strategic elements, like fleet management and resource allocation. Players give commands to their fleets, capture enemy bases, and secure resources. There are various scenarios to choose from, each with specific objectives. The second game, Mary Sarika, is an RPG about girls with superpowers fighting terrorists in a modern Japanese setting. The gameplay includes turn-based battles with anime-style graphics, a focus on character interactions, and a storyline involving conspiracies and hidden agendas. The next page showcases Mr. Bones, a quirky action game. The preview highlights the game's unique stages, featuring a skeleton protagonist navigating bizarre environments. The page shows screenshots of various levels, including icy lakes, rolling logs, drum solos, and guitar solos. It's all about stopping the evil vampire Degorian from taking over and saving the world. This page features 2 games, Willy Wombat and Mass Destruction. Willy Wombat is an action game where you use boomerangs and force to defeat enemies, rotating the screen to find hidden gems while avoiding pursuers. The game utilizes an AQV system for 360-degree screen rotation and involves collecting tokens to get the old man to save your progress. Mass Destruction is a tank battle action game where you pilot tanks and destroy targets, with missions ranging from city to desert environments. The page highlights the simple controls and the game's focus on destruction, including various tanks to choose from and soldiers to run over. The next page showcases 2 sports games, World Evolution Soccer and Top Anglers. World Evolution Soccer emphasizes team tactics and player strategy, allowing players to compete in exhibition matches, leagues, and a World Cup mode. You can customize your team's tactics, formations, and even edit player attributes and uniforms. Top Anglers offers a fishing experience with polygon-rendered environments and fish. The game features various lures and baits to catch different types of fish, with a focus on line tension and fish stamina. It includes tournaments and information on fishing techniques for beginners. This page presents a preview of the adventure game Mooncradle for the 3DO, highlighting its 3D graphics, FMV cutscenes, and focus on detective work. The game centers around solving a series of disappearances as private investigator Goro Nagoro, with the player exploring rooms and interrogating people. Key actors are mentioned with a summary of 2 gameplay modes: Action Mode for exploration and Command Mode for interactions with other characters. The game features an AI Go game, Go. It boasts strong AI, suitable for both beginners and experienced players, with adjustable settings and tutorial features. This page dives into Gameware Volume 5, a collection of minigames and movies from Sega. It features 2 discs. Disc A focuses on user-playable minigames, including Toru Toru Marbles and World Conquest, while Disc B is packed with movie and video information, including content from Virtua Fighter 3 and Sakura Wars. The page also includes a review section, spotlighting various Saturn games, such as Taiheiyo no Arashi 2, with short comments from different reviewers about their gaming preferences and impressions. One reviewer mentions enjoying games with unique quirks, while another expresses excitement for the new Mega 10 release. There are brief descriptions of the games being reviewed, and a user score chart with average ratings. The next page presents a series of Saturn game impressions, starting with Harukaze Sentai vs. Force, a simulation game where girls pilot fighter planes. Reviewers appreciate the anime-style presentation, but find the unit customization lacking. Next up is Teitoku no Ketsudan 2i, a World War II naval simulation noted for its complexity and difficulty, despite some reviewers finding the battle animations underwhelming. Magical Drop 2i is praised for its addictive puzzle gameplay and improved chaining system. Waku Waku 7, a fighting game, is highlighted for its well-balanced gameplay. Rouge 2, another fighting game, is criticized for its outdated system and lack of character appeal. Malika Shinkai no Sekai, a suspense RPG, receives mixed opinions, with some praising the character designs and full voice acting, while others find the combat pacing slow and the overall presentation dated. The reviews conclude with comments from various individuals and their average ratings for each game. This page features impressions of several Saturn games. First is Shinsetsu Samurai Spirits Bushido Retsuden, a role-playing game spin-off of the fighting game series, praised for its 12 different story paths, but recommended mainly for existing fans. Next is Sonic Jam, a collection of classic Sonic games, noted for retaining the original gameplay and including extras like the Sonic World Polygon demo. Mr. Bones, an action game with a quirky concept of a skeleton protagonist, is highlighted for its unique premise, level design, and comedic elements, though its difficulty is noted. Willy Wombat is an action game with an American comic book aesthetic, and set in a gritty world. It uses a unique camera system that is considered cumbersome by some. Quiz na Narrow Dreams, Nijiro Cho no Kiseki, a dating simulation quiz game, is appreciated for its charming premise and accessible gameplay, but some find the quiz questions too easy. Lastly is Moon Cradle, a mystery adventure game with mini-games and mazes, and also has a serious storyline. This page presents impressions of several Saturn games. First, Gorum Kun o Hisashiburi Desu, which includes Life Force, and is praised for its gameplay and reproduction of classic elements, although the graphics are considered somewhat outdated. Next is Amok, a 3D shooting game where players control a battlewalker, is appreciated for its design and balanced gameplay, with the reviewer noting it stands out despite the saturation of similar games. Shenryu is a vertical scrolling shooting game with old-school gameplay and a simple design, though the reviewer finds it somewhat plain, but the boss fights offer some challenge. Zero Yan Champ Doozy J Typer is noted for its mini-games and dating simulation elements, but some find the story lacking. PGA Tour 97 is praised for its realistic representation of golf and inclusion of real players, but some find the assistance features too generous. Lastly, Top Angler Superfishing Big Fight 2 has elements that have not impressed the reviewer, who finds the fishing sensations not very enjoyable. The next page showcases impressions of more Saturn games. Breakpoint, a tennis game, is criticized for its graphics and lack of strategic depth, focusing only on hitting the ball. And Gameware Volume 5, a digital magazine, which receives praise for its minigames and extras, with the reviewer highlighting the creator's dedication. Political Ambition is described as a simple game that reflects the current political climate. And AI Go, a game that is difficult for beginners and better suited for intermediate players. Magical Drop 3 is praised for its improved accessibility and enjoyable gameplay. Reviewer comments provide diverse opinions on each game, and final scores are given. There are screenshots included for the games. This page dives into Tokimeki Memorial, focusing on its Sega Saturn release and associated merchandise. The Saturn version of Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Tokedama includes enhanced features and visuals. There's a glimpse at in-game elements like character-specific attacks and chain reactions. The page also highlights Tokimeki prize goods, such as keychains, pins, and t-shirts that feature characters from the game. And a new single from Tenkei Sakura, called Make You Smile, is also mentioned. The page then shifts to a live-action Tokimeki Memorial film shoot, with behind-the-scenes snapshots and comments from the actors, including Enomoto Kanako, Yada Akiko, and Nakayama Emily. There is also a competition to win a signed card from actress Fukishi Itokarika. The next page delves into the world of ELF's homepage, offering a guide to its various sections. Tama, the ELF public relations representative, provides insights into the site. The homepage features sections such as works lineup and goods information, where users can not only view information on past software and merchandise, but also purchase them. Tama highlights the home section with daily updates and character introductions, and the ELF Art Museum, showcasing original wallpapers. There's also a staff recruitment section. The page also highlights a special giveaway for a signed telecard. There is some additional news on Sentimental Graffiti, including the release of new songs and an official fan club with details on membership and benefits. Plus, the 3 voice actresses, Emiri Nakata, Raho Mori, and Chi Matsuoka. A karaoke version will soon be available. This page is a promotional spread featuring Princess Mononoke, the Studio Ghibli film directed by Hayao Miyazaki. It highlights the film's release along with related merchandise like the Art of Princess Mononoke book, a film comic, an animation picture book, and a Roman album. The page also mentions a fair being held at bookstores and includes a section detailing the initial 1980 version of the film's concept. Also featured is an article on the Sega game Virtua Striker 2. The strategy of the game is detailed on the right. This page features a detailed look at The Lost World Jurassic Park arcade game. It highlights the game's release as a Model 3 gun shooting title. The page emphasizes the graphical fidelity, immersive experience with surround sound, and cooperative gameplay elements. It showcases various in-game screenshots of encounters with dinosaurs, like the Treks and Raptors, and promotes the realistic visuals and action-packed adventure. The next page presents the AM No. 3 Network Power Links, focusing on Sega AM3's Top Skater game. It discusses hidden characters, specifically San-chan and Sanko-chan, designed by Takahashi. It also touches on Sega's Facts Club for game information and introduces a reader feedback section and artwork submissions. The page then announces a special Top Skater project with artwork from the game. This page is an article on the game The House of the Dead, focusing on strategies for defeating the game's bosses. It covers the bosses from stages 1 to 3, including Chariots, Hangman, and Hermit, offering tips and patterns to ensure victory. It also mentions the importance of the finger reload technique and provides visual aids with screenshots demonstrating weak points and attack patterns. There's also a section covering the Taito Private Show event, highlighting games like Gadarius, Side by Side 2, and Kirameki Star Road Intro Club, and mentions a summer release for most games at the show. Lastly, a monthly arcade ranking lists Virtua Fighter 3 as number 1, followed by The House of the Dead and Tekken 3. Other games in the top 10 include Cyber Troopers Virtualon, Tokyo Wars, and Street Fighter II. The next page is dedicated to arcade prizes, focusing heavily on Neon Genesis Evangelion. It features a variety of prizes, including puff mirrors, metal figures, soft key holders, and collections of Rei Ayanami figurines. There's also mention of Sakura Wars, keychain figures, as well as items featuring Sonic and Knights. The article touches on new releases and re-releases of popular prizes, and the limited availability of some items. Additionally, it includes a Sega Facts Club section and information on how to submit ideas for prizes. Towards the bottom, there's a small advertisement to submit ideas for chain key figures. This page is a guide for using the boss characters in Groove on Fight, revealing how to unlock special endings with Demian. It covers unlocking hidden elements in various games. For Groove on Fight, achieving specific character clears unlocks illustrations and additional content like Go Series artwork related to the series. Passwords for Blam, Machine Head, enable level selection and other effects. Stake Winner 2 offers tips for increasing starting funds and adding breeding horses. There's also information for Cube Battler, detailing how to access a karaoke mode, and for Sankyo Fever, explaining how to access a real shot version with easier clears. Plus, directions on how to unlock all the extras in Graduation Cross World by using certain button combinations. Flower Girl has instructions for unlocking special stages for one-player mode, and God Phoenix Fist has details on how to play as the bosses in arcade mode. The next page is about Sega Ages titles, highlighting upcoming releases including Phantasy Star and a Memorial Selection Volume 2 featuring classic arcade games from 79 to 85. Phantasy Star is touted as Sega's first original RPG, featuring screenshots of the original Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star II, and Phantasy Star The End of the Millennium. The memorial selection includes Samurai, Monaco GP, Starjacker, and Ninja Princess. Additionally, Power Drift is spotlighted as a home version of the arcade racing game. Columns Arcade Collection is also featured, with versions up to Columns 97. This page previews several upcoming games. Burst Hunter R is an adventure game based on an anime and OVA. Featuring RPG elements and movie scenes, it has a rating for those 18 and over. Mysterious Saint Tale is an adventure game where the player is Hanioka Mamie, a middle school student by day and a phantom thief by night, solving mysteries across the city. Minigame Extravaganza is about a game that focuses on school subjects as minigames that affect the protagonist's stats. Hegel Act Heroism has the player controlling a group of 3 girls in a role-playing game where they work towards becoming heroes. Ultimate Tiger 2 Plus is a vertical scrolling shooter being ported to the Saturn. Lastly, Puradoru Disc Volume 6, Rimi Yoshida, features photos and videos, along with minigames. The next page showcases a variety of games. Side Pocket 3 is a billiards game focusing on realistic physics and trick shots. Steep Slope Sliders is a snowboarding game with courses and tricks. Scorcher is a futuristic racing game. Doom features ports of Doom 1 and 2. Ochige Designer Tsukutepon is a puzzle game that lets you create your own puzzle games. And finally, a section called Girl Girl Girl, New Title Trends, gives a sneak peek at Desire and Super GT 24H. This page previews upcoming games and software. Azel, Panzer Dragoon RPG, is a large-scale RPG for the Sega Saturn, with details on enemy design and opening sequences. J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru 2 allows players to compete in the International Cup. Sega Touring Car Championship focuses on realistic racing. Last Bronx is a fighting game with an opening movie. Princess Crown is an action RPG with in-depth gameplay. Sentimental Graffiti is a simulation game focusing on character interactions. Eternal Blue is a role-playing game. X-Men vs. Street Fighter is a fighting game. Biohazard features original elements for the Saturn version. Kyan Kyan Bunny Extra is an adventure game. Grandia is a role-playing game. Tuatthems. Tokimeki Memorial Teisen Tokaidama is a puzzle game. Photogenic is a simulation game. Street is an adventure game. Quotos. Ryoko and Summer Vacation is a simulation game. Langrisser IV is a strategy RPG. Virus is an adventure game. Super Robot Wars F is a simulation. Bluebreaker is a RPG. Real Sound is an adventure title. Dokusei 2 is an adventure game. Magical Girl Pretty Sammy is an adventure game. The Natsukaze no Shima Monogatari is an adventure RPG. Kuro no Dansho is an adventure game. Slayers Royals is a role-playing game. Magic School Luna is a role-playing game. This page presents a new production sale calendar for Sega Saturn games. It includes release dates and prices for various titles. June features games like Weru Eru Kamos, Taiheyo no Teiki 2, and D no Shokutaku. Other titles include Kishin Koraku Samurai Summer, PGA Tour 97, Amok, and Plaid Idol Disc Special Campaign Gal 97. Many more games and prices are listed, including Sakura Taisen titles, Sonic Jam, Knights, and Dragon Ball Z. July includes games such as Daisuke, Fighter History Dynamite, and A-Tsi Dome Sakura. There are also titles like Alpha Lumba Club and Sande Force vs. Ust features Rockman X4 Special Limited Pack, and Go-Go Professional Taikyoku. September lists Moonriders Exchanger, Gun Frontier Arcade Gears, and Desire. October includes Grand Reed Stivy Slop Sliders. November lists Digital Salaryman and Falcom Classics. December presents Mary and Shukugyo. Also listed are titles Release Dates Undetermined, Wizardry Nemesis, and Virtua Fighter 3. The next page of Saturn Fan features coverage of upcoming games and magazine content. It highlights the release of Saturn Fan number 13 on June 27th, promising exclusive strategies for Shinsetsu Samurai Spirits Bushido Retsuden and a feature on NEC Interchannel, covering games like Dukusei 2 and Sentimental Graffiti. There's a game index with titles like Amok, Willy Wombat, Virus, Quiz Nanero Dreams, Thunder Force Versus, and Last Bronx, among many others. The page also contains an ad for Langrisser IV, showing character Rachel, illustrated by Satoshi Urushihara, with details on a pre-order campaign and special edition packages. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Marika Shinjitsu no Sekai, a psychic suspense RPG. It highlights the game's storyline about high school girls with psychic powers saving Japan from terrorists, with modern Tokyo as the stage. The ad emphasizes the full-screen visual battles and the over 4 hours of visual scenes featuring popular voice actors. Several notable voice actors are mentioned, including Yuko Miyamura as the character Marika, as well as other names like Yuko Nagashima, Kumiko Watanabe, and Daisuke Sakaguchi. The game was released on June 20th with a price of 5,800 yen.